Hello there, Seraphim17 once again, introducing you to my Max Payne 3 hardcore difficulty video walkthrough. This is chapter 10, it's Drive or Shoot Sister, and this is a pretty simple level with a couple of challenging firefights. There's one or two that I would say are difficult, the rest are pretty standard and pretty simple. So as per normal, I'm only really going to chirp up about the gameplay when it's something that I think you should know, or something that I think I can, tell you that will give you the advantage in the situation. For a firefight like this, the simplest practice is to just stay where you are and take them out as quickly as you can. It's literally Occam's razor. There is nothing complicated about this. Just be careful, don't stay out of cover too long or you're going to get punished. I'm going to continue the topic I was speaking about in the last video, which was Final Fantasy 13-2. And one thing I will say about this game is if you liked 13 and you have an investment in the characters and the universe of 13, you're really going to like 13-2. And I know that sounds like an obvious statement, it sounds like one of those just pointing out something that everybody should already know, but I mean it a lot because there are plot developments and things that are happening that I can barely remember that they're referencing because I've kind of blocked 13 out of my memory, like a child does an early rape, and it's kind of that way. It's like such an offensive memory. I've just erased it. It's just how it works. I am Bruce Willis and I'm secretly dead. I just haven't realised. But if you do have an affinity for it, you're going to get a lot from it because there's a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of little points that are coming through that you're going to enjoy. And the reason I know this is because I loved 10, and in 10-2, it might have been a goofy game, but by God did you get some interesting exposition from it. This is the first challenging firefight of this level. Kill the guy on the roof immediately, and then you can either rush for that cover to my left behind the blocks, or you can attack these guys. And my logic here is, there's those guys that come out of that doorway, and there's people that flank from the side of the bus. If I jump towards the bus, use it to cover me from the guys on my right, I can kill the guys in front of me here, and then focus on the dudes behind the bus. It kind of works, it kind of doesn't. You'll notice they're not quite sure how to attack me. And right there I get screwed by the animation once again. See these guys? Double pistol them in the face. Max Payne style, that's how Max Payne should be played. And then I get shot getting up because Max is old as fuck now and doesn't get up very fast. But from here on it's smooth sailing, use your cover, clean up the enemies, and then you can continue to the next firefight. But as I was saying, I got a lot out of 10-2 because it developed the things I loved about 10, and all of those were story developments. The gameplay developments I didn't really think were all that great because personally I think 10 had the best battle mechanics, and what I mean by this is it had the list that showed you the order people attacked, and you were never rushed to get your moves off before the enemy did, so there was never that nonsense where you're on low life and you're trying to do an item and a boss or an enemy gets his attack before you use your item and you die. That didn't happen. Everything that happened you could control because you knew the order things were going to go down in, and that to me is the ultimate strategy in an RPG, and I prefer that over the active stuff any day. That being said, I don't think 10 had some of the most fun features, because I think Final Fantasy VIII's draw system was amazing because I love how that game handled magic. I also think that the leveling system on 10, the leveling system since 9 has been kind of redundant because the sphere grid gave you some flexibility when you picked expert, but you still couldn't really craft your character to a certain direction. You had to go a preset path in essence. You could just prioritize which abilities you went for first. And 12 had a lot of detail, but it didn't make a difference because everybody could do so much. Everybody was effectively the same. And if you played that game smart, you just picked Balthier and you just shot people from a distance and it turned it into just a fucking snowfest. And then 13's gone the complete opposite way of removing a lot of the complexity and a lot of the interest from the leveling system by having you follow a preset path. And now it's gone even worse. Like 13-2 has taken even more control away from you, where it just does it itself. You press A and it levels you up. You don't pick, you don't choose a path. There's no splinters in the road. It's just one path, and I hate that. And it's same with the attacking. The battle system on 13.2 is fast and it's fluid and it's interesting because it looks fancy, but you're not really doing much because it's all auto-attacked. And the only thing you can do differently is abilities. There's no attack command. It's weird as hell. They've simplified it so much to make the battles quicker that you barely feel like you're doing much unless something, you know, shit hits the fan and you have to adjust and use an item or use a specific ability because the auto players decided to do something stupid. And I don't like that at all. I don't like not controlling my entire team. I don't like a lot of things, but that was all in 13, so I can't blame 13.2 for that. And a little tip if you've not played this game yet and you're gonna, don't watch the cinematic at the start when you're on the menu screen because it's the exact same one at the start of the game, only there is no voice acting. So when you do start a new game, really underwhelming as you watch a cutscene you've just watched, only this time you've got some context. This section here, by the way, if you don't shoot the people or the platform to make them fall, they will shoot the girl and she'll die. As soon as they're dead, those dudes will spawn from that doorway and you need to kill them really fast or you're going to be in trouble. This is probably the most challenging firefight of the level, because there's a lot of guys from a lot of areas and the cover's not the best. There's no real opportunity to cheese them with cover, so just, you know, shoot dodge your best ability. And watch me hit the set of drawers there or wherever the hell that was. Pretty cool. But yeah, I'm enjoying Final Fantasy 13 too, and I'll keep you updated on my feelings as I play through it more. I really like the puzzle elements as well, because it reminds me of the Cloister of Trials, because I loved the Cloister of Trials. They were difficult, but they were fun. My only criticism is the first puzzle was much better than the second one. Connecting dots, like dot to dot, is boring as shit. Give me the tile puzzles any day. It's like, give me a slidey block puzzle from a Zelda game any day, because I love that shit. But run around the room as normal, pick up as many painkillers as you can, and listen to the eerie, droning techno of health that did the soundtrack for the game. And I don't know about your guys, but I'm in love with the main theme from this game. Such a good song. And it like defies my normal standards of music, because you can, like, it's very repetitive, but it's still amazing. I don't get it. Just, it resonates with me. It makes my cells vibrate in a really good way. How good is that? She starts bitching, I shoot towards her, and then she calls me worse than the people we're killing. I love stuff like that, little bits of dialogue that you generally don't see unless you do something silly. It always brings me back to the days of, you know, static animations. When you don't move your pad for a while, what does your character do in a third-person game? That's generally the sign of a good game. Conker's Bad Fur Day was one of the games that took that to such an extreme, because you did some really silly things. If you stood still on Bad Fur Day, he'd pull a Game Boy out and start playing his Game Boy. It was just little touches that made games that you don't see too much these days, unless you're playing an Uncharted or something like this. Be careful on this gunfight. This is another one that can be quite challenging, because the enemies on this area seem to be super accurate. The guy in the bus, if you don't kill him quickly, I didn't even realise he was there on this run, so I got clipped by him, but if you don't kill him fast, he will mess you up. And there's two more below me, I believe. A little tidbit here as well. When you're down on the bottom floor, if the music's still playing, do not go towards the door that gets you to the next area, because Max will go through it, and whoever's left in the room will kill the girl. I found that out the hard way, so you want to avoid that. If that was a hardcore run, once again, I would have probably, you know, self-flagellated with the disc.
And got progressively worse. My luck was running true to
But
form, or rather, I was running true.
I can't really remember what's left of this level after this encounter, because I actually had recording problems on this bit. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll notice that I mentioned it. My USB from my PVR, my laptop couldn't recognise it, so the entire next sequence after this part of the level, which is going to be in the next video, didn't capture. So I had to play the entire level again to capture just the end, which really pissed me off. And I don't know why it did it. It was messed up for all that night. I couldn't get it to work, and then I woke up the next day and it was fine. And that pretty much sums up why I hate computers, man. They're like fucking women. And I don't mean that in a really derogatory, bad, you know, misogynistic way. I just mean that in, there are some moments when you're with a girl and you can't say a right thing. And it's not your fault, and they even admit it and apologise afterwards. It's just, you know, women are more, like, hormonal than we are, and crazy. But thanks for watching, guys, and you take care now.